Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. All I can say is thank goodness I never show my face on camera because as we speak, whoa, I just started feeling like I have swollen glands, or at least on one side, a swollen gland, right at that sort of that crook, like where your jawbone ends, kind of below your ear. Anyway, so now my throat is starting to hurt. So I'm complaining to my husband. He says, "Oh, put a Vicks on your neck." And so I don't know if this was a thing where you grew up or in your family, but we were sort of taught that if you have a sore throat, you slather your neck with Vicks Vapor Rub, and then obviously get a big sock, like a man's sock, wrap it around your neck and hold it together with a big safety pin. So that's what I'm sporting today for this video. Anyway, I love this. Okay, so you know that I've been on a bit of a kick lately doing masterboards. Excuse me. Now, oopsie. All these images of stamps came out of a stamp collecting book. And this is kind of what I have left, including little, partial pieces. And a couple of things like so. What you don't know, though, is that it's not just this 12 by 12 that you see here. It is this, and it is a this. I'll just pause for a second so you can ooh and ah in the privacy of your home. So, what did I do this on, you may be wondering? Well, every so often I thrift some, unattractive early iteration scrapbooking paper. So this, you can say I paid $1 for. I obviously removed the papers that had a little strip and they were, so this is actually probably bigger than 12. Well, maybe not. I guess maybe the paper is smaller than 12. Anyway, so of course I saved this cardboard thing because at some point I'm going to need it. So I took one of these and began covering this. Now, of course, when I just had my whole wad of these fussy cuts, I didn't know how far they were going to go. I thought I would have enough to do this whole thing, and as it turns out, I did. I love stamps. I have many stamps. Every so often I bid on stamp lots through auction. I have stamps on my, I think both Maker's Market and Etsy, where I have collated them by color. So you can get 100 pack in, browns, or 100 pack in pinks and reds, or whatever. Anyway, because I have all of these, and I've used them, one by one here and there, I just thought, you know what, let's do something big. So I could have just cut it into 2 pieces, but then I thought, well, so what was the advantage of doing it in this format with this, connection with this oversized piece? So I thought, okay, I haven't made a folio in a long time. This could be a folio. So before I turned on the camera, and I'm so glad that I pulled out the scoreboard because, I would be trying to save 5 seconds and would have just tried folding it over and then it would have gone crooked. And anyway, sometimes it just makes sense to do it the proper way. I try to do things proper way most of the time. Okay, so this is 12 inches. Now, we know that if I would have scored it at the 6-inch mark, there would be a binding problem over here. So I paused another second and I realized I need this part to be narrower than this part. So I don't have that issue here. So I scored this at 6 1/4. And I did it several times, and as you can see, this is lifted. And there is some cracking. Now, I don't know that I could have done anything differently. It's probably just the nature of the beast that, let me just deal with this. It's the nature of the beast that would probably happen because the book pages are fairly thick. And of course, now we've got the thickness of the paper, the thickness of the substrate, the thickness of the paper, and the thickness of the substrate all on this fold. So we will deal with this when the time comes. As we used to say back in the day, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so maybe I should do the other one, and let's hope I think this through. So I want this side to be narrower. So maybe I should turn this upside down, do what I did before, knowing that, let's think, if I make this 6 3/4, then this will be the narrower side, that will be the wider side, and everything should be hunky-dory. Okay, I've got this baby, well, do I? I was going to say I have this baby all squared up here. Because, you know, if you score it crooked, you're going to be fighting with that for the rest of your natural born life. Okay, 6 1/4. Whoa, I think I went crooked. That's not so good. And obviously, probably not visible on such a busy surface. Now, before I got to work here on the gluing down, mind you, let me do this fold and then I'll get rid of the scoreboard. Who is that? Is it Pam? Paper Outpost Pam that says Peely Uppies? I got some Peely Uppies. So I got more remedial stuff to do, but yes, okay, that's good. Let me get rid of this because it's annoying. Okay, I'll do that soon. As you can see on this, there are the holes where the staples came out. And of course, it's just a scored piece of paper. So what I had done was I reinforced it just with Scotch tape inside and out. Now, my intention was to use masking tape, but of course I couldn't find it because, you know, at any given moment, I have to have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 things that I cannot find. That happened to be the case. That on that particular day, the case was, one of the items was masking tape. So do that before you begin. Then further, now I hadn't thought fully through how I was going to fold it. So I drew a line down the middle just with pencil at the halfway mark, at the 6-inch mark, thinking that, okay, let me kind of be cognizant of what I'm putting, you know, as I'm gluing these things down, so that I'm not having a whole bunch of things. Now, this is going to be slightly out because of the 1/4 inch difference now, but you can see that I don't have any edges at the 6-inch mark. Now, obviously, when I did the back side, I didn't worry about that. That's probably why I have those guys with an issue there. So, good idea, just not fully executed properly. So, the reason I'm actually doing this video and going into a bit of detail about this is because I thought that if you wanted to do something similar, and it doesn't have to be on this scale, maybe you don't have that particular piece of cardboard, but I thought I would give you time over however long to figure this out and get it done in case you want to work alongside me. Yeah, this is a bad one here. That's a skinny little overlap. Can you see that? It barely goes around. So, children, do as I say, not as I do. Make sure you mark both sides. And also now we know that 6 inches is, well, with my measurements. Okay, let me back that up. When you mark yours, know that it shouldn't be smack dab in the middle. It should be wherever you intend to, what do we call that thing? Score it. So that, because on the inside it worked beautifully. I mean, not that though, okay, let me think this through. These would not be an issue anyway, I guess, because where are they going to go? They're not going anywhere. It's these outer ones that have to stretch, as it were, around. So, anyway, long-winded explanation to say be careful. Now, of course, I will be able to do something about this. Maybe it means sealing this ultimately with matte medium. Maybe it means adding a trim or a binding of some sort. You know, I do have 300 miles worth of bias tape, so that could be the thing too. I honestly don't know if what I'm doing here is helping much, but it's like that placebo effect. You think you got the sugar pill, but you're taking it and you feel like you feel better. So I thought, well, could I possibly pick some papers before I turn on the camera and maybe talk about signatures? Well, that didn't go according to plan exactly either. Oh, I will also, when I finish doing this, I will also show you that on the center fold, remember I said I reinforced it with Scotch tape, but on the center fold, I stayed a little bit away because typically all that, if I would have been gluing stuff across that ditch, or really close to it, it would be adding bulk and making the fold that much more difficult to work with. So initially I was keeping probably ½ an inch away, and then I thought, well, maybe that's a bit much, and I had some pieces, and I thought, well, rather than cut, something off here, I might as well use the whole thing. But if you can see this pink, now see, this is curling back, so I should probably, whoopsie, probably trim that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I could see it from that angle. Now I can't. Oh, this guy here is one of them. And look, I stuck that little patch in there. So I would suggest that if you do this, do not go over this fold. This isn't working very well. Yeah, it would have been better if I wouldn't have done that. Now I could probably rip this off. Oh, this was one that's sticking up too. Yeah, this kind of fiddling around is unnecessary. If I would have not tried to be so I don't know, what was I trying to be? Because I always thought that, and again, I wasn't totally thinking through to the end game, because I was thinking, oh, this is where I'm going to put in my signature. But then, and of course, I guess that is one way to do it. Okay, not too bad. Well, this guy's still, oh, you know what? If I go like this, I should be able to go like this and get some of that off there. Okay. I'll just pause. I mean, I'll just stop talking for a second. Can you fancy that? And then I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So first of all, when I was doing this, I'm thinking, oh yes, this is where my signature will go. But then that's kind of goofy. What is the point then of these big floppy things? So then when I started looking at, like I do have this very beautiful burgundy box here. This is fabric, where I've been putting some of the taller pages as I encounter them. So, and of course, this is way too narrow, because I was thinking, oh, tall, skinny. Don't fold them all one way for a short journal. Fold some the other way. Not that this will ever go to waste, because it could be, they could still be used. Of course, it's a bit tall at this point. But then I got the bright idea, don't you know, of having a signature here and another signature or booklet here. So this is how this would be. And I can go a lot wider with my papers. Now, when I start looking through what I have here, what the heck is this? Oh, hey. We bought these paper placemats when we were in the States one time. I must have thought I was doing... Okay, let's see, how wide is that? Let's turn this way. Because again, with a placemat size paper, you don't want to cut a whole bunch off. So that's why I chose to fold some this way. Now, are they all identical or are they not? Looks like they're not. Oh. Maybe there's a variety. Okay, same cookies, same car, same kit. Okay, so looks like I have 4 of those. For some reason, I also have pink paper, but of course I have lots of colored paper. I can choose any one I want. Oh, you know what? Some tall atlas or music pages would also work. Now, let's talk about one thing at a time. So let's fold that and so I probably have even taller, and I guess I'm going to have to figure out, this is 12 inches. This is, yeah, essentially 12 inch, just a hair, a 1/16 of an inch under 12 inches. So I could make my life simpler by cutting it down and making it an 11-inch tall thing. But again, I've gone through a lot of work. This should probably stay as it is. And the beauty of keeping it as it is that a normal, no, I have no idea, is this normal? This is an 11-inch tall piece of paper. So it means that I have quite a bit, 1/2 inch top or bottom, or I can, vary this. But that means that I could add something. I could add trim, I could add lace, I could add something else, whatever I want, to close that gap. Or when the sewing in time comes, I could stagger the pages. So let's pretend we have, okay, this ledger one is kind of misleading because pretend it's the right size. Then this second one, the music one, could go higher, and this placemat could go lower, and you end up with that sort of tiered look. So now that I realize that most of the papers that I have here, okay, what is this? Oh, obviously a masterboard that I did with digitals. I'm not sure where I got this from, but these are cool. They have, oh, I guess they cracked, or did they crack, or were they, oh no, I guess that's the design, so you can remove them. These are tall things that, with tabs at the top. So if a person turned it the other way, well, let's see what's what here. And of course, this could also be trimmed to fit in a normal book, but so if a person wanted to use these, these two could be hinged together. Probably, with my luck, the holes would be exactly where my stitching holes go. So hinge them together like so, leaving room for them to fold without hitting each other. And then these designs on the edge here could be a place to hang something or whatever. So I guess that could be a possibility as well to be used in this journal. Okay, now what is this? Obviously just 11-inch piece of paper that I did some stenciling on. Okay. Oh, this part here, these are from a wallpaper book, but they are pretty thick. Like, they're pretty well strong enough to be a cover. Then I have a bunch of these pages. You know what? It might be better if I'm sure it's kind of annoying to look at something that busy. So now that I have scored this, and you can see those guys that I glued all opened up, I will do my famous trick of putting an elastic on so that it begins learning which way it has to go. Oh, you know what would have been even smarter? Okay, make a note to yourselves. What I should have done before I measured where these folds are, I should have scored on either side of this fold so that I would have a decent spine thickness. Now, again, I didn't do that. I probably still could, but boy, that is going to be I have to think about that because I still want, you know, a comfortable space here. So I guess I could almost go 1/4 of an inch. Boy, that's cutting her close. You know, you get caught up in the moment. You're all happy. You're in your happy place because you've just been gluing stamps for 2 days. And then you forget some of those basics or don't know where the project is going. That's not much of a spine. However, before I panic, if I'm having a signature, if I'm doing signatures like so, then this could easily be something else. There could be less busy looking papers or something. Just pockets here, or maybe some kind of a tiered thing, or envelopes. So I'm going to sleep on this because, okay, these are other pages that I've obviously folded the long way. A lot of writing space on them. They're probably only 10 inches tall or 10.5. Okay, let's do one little experiment before I let you go. Okay, so we've got this, a stamped page, a ledger page, a music page, and a placemat. Let's just randomly shove all this in here, knowing that we'll probably add to it. I mean, you know, embellish and glue stuff to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do another one of 6. We'll just, for the sake of moving along, we'll just do 6 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6. So, sew that in there. You sew that in there. Well, they didn't obviously not stay where they belong, but I don't think I'd want many. I probably would almost want to stop at 6 pages because, again, this is no great, not very spacious either for a signature. Okay, so that, okay, I'm going to, unless I change my mind, I will leave this as it is. I will limit myself to 6 pages, knowing that this will get bulked up with however it's decorated. I'll revisit whether I like, you know, I might choose to switch up the combo of pages. What else could I show you here? I also have, again, let me get this out of the way. I have these that came out of a vintage book. They are 10.5, so this could work. It's different paper. I have a few of those. And they're kind of, oh, look at what else I have. I folded some okay, it would have to be this way. We don't want any irises upside down. That is quite nice too, and it's just obviously it's just stationery paper, so that could be used. And frankly, I think with this busy folio, getting some, oh, that's beautiful, getting some white space and some, oh, see these, color these. I think it would be kind of important that person not go overboard with the busyness of the paper. So that's good. I also have this in that same bin because I love this fabric so much. And, okay, how tall is this? This is about 11 1/4. So the fabric itself is very beautiful. It's got that machine embroidery and it's got that stripe in it. And I put it on a coffee dyed, file folder. So working with fabric isn't the easiest thing in the world. So I zigzagged at the top and bottom. And then I just straight stitched down the middle. And, oh, and I also folded back, if I remember. Yes, I folded back about half. Oh, on this side is quite a bit more. Just to make it, you know, a little more, not that it's firm, but just to give that a little bit more oomph. But I don't think this will make it into this project, so let's forget that. Now I have this. This is wrapping paper that I obviously reinforced. But that makes me think, you know, I have scented drawer liners, I have wrapping paper on the roll, I have, what else do I have over there? Any of those papers might be good too. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to show you. Well, two other things. I made, at some point, I made this envelope, but I had another one here somewhere. Ah, yes. Oh, 3. Okay, I had these big book pages. So I made these envelopes. Now, what I could also do in a signature, of course, is put, you know, sew along there. And then, of course, you've got that built-in pocket. So I've got this one that is like sand dunes or something. This one with this beautiful pagoda. And this is, well, a little shallow, skinny one. That is Paris, I guess. Okay. Obviously, I was thinking out loud, planning out loud. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board to figure out what kind of pages I want to use inside. However, I did... on another thing I have in here, look at all of these pre-folded. At one point I was making, I think I was making envelopes out of these. Like, is that not wonderful? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And, you know, kind of glossy, but those floral books, well, here are a couple taller ones. Beautiful. 10. Anyway, okay. The wheels, I don't know. Can you smell the gears in my head burning? Overheating. Okay. So I am going to be thinking about this in the next while. Now, the other thing, there's still another possibility here. I don't think I've ever done a video making a Midori style journal. But that could certainly work with something this tall, because I would have plenty of space to add my eyelets and run my elastic, and I could still use a traditional 11-inch tall paper and have it work. Now I realize stamps don't necessarily equate to travel, but honestly, I kind of like the idea of relatively plain paper. Relatively plain paper. Making up the signatures so that if a person, you know, used this, it could be switched out. And there would be a rest for the eye. I guess the other thing I could do, okay, if this is where this is sewn, then obviously I could have a side pocket here. And because there's a lot of black, I could use my, oh, my black paper isn't big enough. I could do black pockets. I'd do a black pocket there. That would give us a break. I could do something, I could add maybe, oh, I still have to remember that I've got papers there. So essentially, mind you, I could, the part to decorate in the middle, I guess, could be as wide as, you know, the 6 1/4 inches on either side. Because whatever I do here would have to be relatively flat so that when this is open, and if a person's trying to write over here, it's not lumpy bumpy. Okay, a plan is formulating, and you're thinking to yourself, well, it's about time. I'm thinking that I'm going to be introducing a fair bit of black here just to ground this. And yeah. Okay, I'm stopping there. And again, if you would like to work along and make choices similar to mine, or your own choices, or ponder, you know, work through this, figuring out what you want out of your project, then by all means, you know, do it. Get to this point, and remember what I told you. Mark the outside as well, and don't have any things ending there. Well, not that that's really my issue, is it? It's just paper cracking. How could I have avoided that? I think I wouldn't have been able to score it when it was still in the drying stage. I don't know. If you know the answer, tell me, because yeah, now I've got an additional problem having to figure out what to do there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop there. I've made myself dizzy thinking about the options. And obviously, I have to figure some of that out before I do another part to this video. Oh, let me just show you this before I go. This is craft foam. This is a French bulldog, like Gertie. She is a potato color, except she's got a black face. So I need to pull up pictures of her, and goodness knows there are millions of pictures of her, and see if I can add black to this to make her more Gertie-like. I don't think I have black chalk. Chalk would be pretty forgiving. That's probably brown, that darkest color. Because I'm afraid, well, let's just try this. If I used a black, well, this is just a regular Sharpie. If I used, I think that would be hard to make that look like hair. This is craziness, you know, trying to do this without a reference photo. Oh, maybe smearing it when it's... This is the wrong side, by the way. Hey, that could work. Hillary and Ash have a bit of not a shrine exactly. Let's just say they have some, they've been given some watercolor pet portraits. I think Hillary bought an acrylic pet portrait. Yeah, they've been getting some Gertie-centric gifts. Which way does hair grow? Anyway, looks like I have another job. If you have any bright ideas about this, it would also be good. I want to take a very slow approach. I mean, obviously, I might have more of this foam. Oh, maybe that dark brown is kind of good too. Anyway, talk about going down a side trail, side path, getting off course here. Anyway, let's look at that side. Okay, thanks guys. We will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.